Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode and the final episode of our blog application tutorial. In this episode I'd like to show how to add upload functionality for the blog post, how to use shared components for content or elements reused on multiple pages, and last but not least I'll tweak the web application and the front end, the user interface a little bit so that you can navigate back and forth between the overview page and the details page and make it look a little bit more beautiful, that it is more similar to a real blog application and you can use it for your own purposes. Okay, as always, let's log in with the admin credentials and import the application definition from a zip file. The link to the zip file for download is you can take from the YouTube comment of the last episode, and don't forget to remove the whitespace character. It is just inserted manually by me, so that the YouTube link shortener does not destroy this link. Now, after a couple of seconds, which are mostly taken by the schema compilation, as you can see here, the system will reload the page after successful import. And if we go to the pages section, we see our two pages, the home and the blog home and blog post page. And we'll start with modifying the blog homepage, the overview page, because as you might have noticed in the last episode, if we go to the homepage and there's no URL parameter set, like for example the Q parameter, which comes from the text query that filters the list of blog posts by a text, or a term, or the category parameter cat. If that is given, then we get a filtered list by category, but if no parameter is given, then there are no blog posts displayed. This of course is a mistake and we have to fix it. So let's go to the corresponding element. Just click anywhere on the in the preview so that the pages tree expands, and we can find the colored icon here, which is the marker for a dynamic element. In this case, this is the repeater element, which is repeated for each element of the result set. And the result set is determined by this function query. A function query is just a simple query built out of template expressions here, and the results are bound to the data key post, which can be used to reference objects from the result collection. Okay, back to the function query. This function query basically has two if decisions here. So one is for the request parameter Q and the other one is for the request parameter cat for category. And in absence of any of these two parameters, the query does just nothing. So it just returns an empty collection. To change that, we have to modify this subquery here in the middle and add a new condition here: if empty request.cat. So in this case, the next part of the search of the query term doesn't make sense, so we just return a list of all blog posts. It's a simple find query, and that should do the trick. Let's see. Okay, now we have a list of all blog posts in the system, and filtering by category or by search term still works. Okay, next let's improve the navigation a little bit. Now here is in the top layer, in the top element here is a navigation element, and in this navigation element we have an H element with a link. Let's first change this to just home. So it's a more typical navigation target. And let's have a look at this A element, and now we change the href parameter just to be the forward slash. The forward slash typically navigates to the root URL of the website. In this case, we want to be navigated to the blog homepage. We want to display the blog homepage, and there's a trick in Structr. Just set the position of any page to an integer number, and Structr will select the page with the lowest position parameter to be the index page. This is very convenient because you can define multiple index pages, for example, for public and authenticated users, which have the same position value, but because one of these pages is hidden for a group of users, then people just see different index pages depending on whether they are logged in or not. Okay, so let's check it out by reloading the blog homepage, and now we click on the home page, on the home link, and we are redirected to the root URL of this server, and we have still the blog homepage shown here. Now let's add some links to the blog posts here. So here let's find the element which is responsible for displaying this title link here, and now we can just right click on the H2 element here and navigate to wrap in element in an HTML element, and we select the A element. And now we see that the H2 element here, which displays the heading, is wrapped in an A element, and here we write for the href attribute blog post slash post.id, and this references the UUID of this particular blog post. Okay, let's have a look. And now we can see here that we can successfully navigate into or onto the blog post page, and you see here the second path parameter is just the UUID of the blog post, and this is the typical navigation scheme Structr uses. Okay, you might have noticed that this start bootstrap link here still is wrong, so it redirects just to the same page and just adds this sign here, this hash sign, but we want to navigate back to the home page, and we modified already the home page itself. Now, of course, we don't want to make this modification twice on each pages. We just want to reuse the same code for this navigation element. And now I'd like to show you how to use shared components. It's very simple. You just drag the element you want to turn into a shared component in the pages tree and move it over to the right-hand side and drop it here on this special area. And you can see that a new element is created here in the shared components area, which has all the child elements of the navigation element, which was formerly displayed in the pages tree. And here in the pages tree, we just have a link element, which is linked to this navigation element. You can see that it gets highlighted if you hover over this nav element in the shared components area. So this is now just a link to the shared component, and we can now just remove the same element from the blog post details page and drag and drop the shared component from the right hand side onto the parent element here, which is the body element, and just pull it up to the place the other element was before. And now let's reload the blog details page, and you can see here that now we have the same home navigation path and link as on the blog home overview page. Now we can navigate back and forth between the overview page and each element or each blog post here. Let's maybe do the same here with a read more element, just as an exercise. So there's already an A element, and we just have to modify this, the href element to read blog post / post.id. Okay, that's it. Now we can also use this button to navigate to the blog post. Now, next up, let's add some upload functionality for images. So we have to go to the blog post details page here, and let's have a look. Here is the element which displays the preview image. First of all, we have to modify the schema and associate the image class or link the image class to the blog post class. In order to do that, we make the image class visible in the schema tools. Just go to schema tools, visibility, core types, and here you find the image class, and drag an arrow from the blog post to the image class. Wait a couple of seconds to allow the schema to be recompiled. Now we modify the relationship settings. I just call it main image and set a cardinality of 1:1. That means that one blog post has exactly one image, and one image is just associated with exactly one blog post. Now let's rename the attributes on both sides. There's an auto naming which should normally be overridden. So we just call the image main image. And on the other hand, on the image side, we call the blog post just blog post. Okay, done that. Wait for schema recompilation, close it. And now we can add blog post images, or at least one main image. Now, just to not forget to have the image displayed in the blog post, let's exchange the former URL or the source attribute, which was filled with a placeholder URL of a placeholder image, by this link. That now the current element, which is the blog post object, is referenced by the current keyword, and this current element now is blog post has a main image, and we want to use the name of the main image as the link. So these images will just upload it in the root directory. We could of course change that, but just for this tutorial, that will do the trick. Now in this area here, we will now add a content element. A content element can be everything. In this case, we will fill it with HTML. And this HTML we will take from our support website. There's an article about uploading files. Let's just search this one. It's the second one here on the page. And here's some HTML code you can use for image or file upload. Now we have to modify it a little bit. We remove this this parameter here, which is just for uploading the file to a certain directory. We modify the redirect on success. This is just the URL of the target page, after which the browser will be directed after successful upload. That should read blog post current ID. So we just reload the page. We don't want to append the UUID of the uploaded image. We make it visible to public users and also to authenticated users. Okay, and we have to add some more hidden parameter. Please make sure that all the parameters to communicate attributes or some additional data together with the uploaded file to the server are placed just before the uploaded file itself. So this is very important in order to for the server to be able to process the file. Okay, this hidden parameter we have to add here will assign the uploaded image to the blog post. So it just reads blog post, and now we have to write JSON. It is a JSON notation which will be parsed on the backend, and it reads just in curly braces, ID is the current ID again. So we just assign the ID of the current blog post as the blog post parameter of the image which will be created. So that should be everything we need. Let's see if we can assign an image. Oh, there's already an image. So let's change this to a nice view of the Frankfurt skyline. So I think I've already tested it and uploaded an image to this blog post. Let's use a different one, the second one here, okay, or the third one, and select a different image here, upload it, and we're done. So, okay, let's have a look at the data in the backend and navigate to the blog post, and here we can see that there are images associated to the blog posts in the database. Last but not least, let's maybe display the images also on the overview page. So click on this element in the preview. That should show us the element where it is displayed. This is this image element here, and again we replace the placeholder URL by a link to the image. So that again is post.mainImage.name, and that's it. Maybe we should hide these two headings here because I don't know what they are for. You can go to the built-in properties and just click on hidden, and that will hide the element. You can still edit it, but it will hidden from being rendered to the browser. Okay, let's see. Now that looks much more beautiful. Maybe some other thing we should do here, the output for the publication date and the author is still static text. Let's exchange that. I think on the blog post page we already have the date. Okay, let's reuse this. Let's see if I can find it. Blog post, I think it's somewhere here. Order. Okay, let's exchange the order. Authors. That's current. On the details page, it's current owner.name. It will just display admin because I'm logged in as the admin. And for the, I don't know where the date, here's the date time. Okay, I will just copy this string here and now reuse it on the overview page. It's just here, posted on, and I paste it here. And for the admin, for the owner, I replace it with, now this is post.owner.name. Okay, let's have a look. I think now it looks much nicer. Okay, the date is missing. I think I just have to exchange the current by post, because post is the data key of the details object in this query, or in this repeater. Okay, I think that's it. Maybe there's a by missing. Okay, now we've got it. Okay, I think now it looks really nice, and you can edit it, and you can upload images, and yeah, of course, now you can continue to develop it from here. If you have questions on how to do certain things with Structr, please don't hesitate to ask some questions. Don't hesitate to add comments. In the future, we will continue this series. We will add some more video content with tutorials, some tutorials for more advanced stuff, but also some introductory application tutorials. Yeah, we will, I think, extend it by far with more documentation. There's a new documentation site in the making at the moment. And stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel if you like to get informed about new episodes or new videos. And yeah, that's it. That's it for now. Have a nice day. Bye bye.